Good evening and welcome to V8 Online's live coverage of the iRacing V8 Supercars official series. This week we're at Circuit of the Americas, a track we haven't been to in real life since 2013, and I don't think we've been here in official for a while, and we're back now, Jake, unfortunately, but I think you prefer this track more than me, so Jake, why don't you take us away?
Yeah, Sam, I absolutely love this place. It's always cool to go to a track that obviously the V8s have been to in real life. This is one of 4 tracks they've been to in real life, I believe, and yeah, definitely a special one. I know they only went there once I think. So yeah, really exciting place. Not the full Formula 1 layout, the little West Cut through configuration. 19 laps here tonight, so very challenging track. The guys are going to have to be careful of those off tracks as well. A little bit of a spa, this place. It is pretty easy to get them and very easy to abuse the track limits. So a bit of a challenging one for these guys tonight, but as we say, not the most popular track, so we haven't seen some of the big names out there we normally see, and currently Marcelo Rivera actually has provisional pole by 0.8 of a second.
Yeah, something tells me he's got that car tuned up at the moment. But yeah, you mentioned, Jake, 19 laps. With this fuel restriction we've got for this season, 50%, it's a straight sprint tonight. No need for a pit stop like we saw last week, so tyres are going to be a real talking point as well with the new tyre model, and this track is relatively hard on tyres. We have got a low track temp of around 28 degrees, so that could help us a little bit, but I think we're going to see guys start to skate around lap 10.
Yeah, that's right, and there's also a couple big braking zones in this track where the axle tramp's going to be a bit of an issue. So we got turn 1, and then you go all the way through the S's, and then you got a little back straight section with a big braking zone there as well. So into really tight radius corners, so the braking is pretty important here. Lots of opportunity for big dive bombs, so we should hopefully see a fair bit of passing tonight, but it's not going to be the easiest thing to do.
No, it's turn 1 is an interesting passing spot as well, because you can throw it up the inside, but very often you can just drive around the outside, or you can take the Jake Burton method and just roll the guy out of the way.
You could do that, but yeah, very technical track. Yeah, obviously designed for Formula 1 cars. A lot of people think this track is more your sort of wings and open wheel sort of circuit. I'm sure you're one of those people, Sam, but I think it's great in pretty much any car, especially the tin tops. It's very technical. You got to focus on getting the car rotated, and having a car that will put the power down really nicely is really crucial here.
Yeah, I actually think the Grand Prix layout, I've driven it a few times in the V8, is actually a lot more enjoyable than the short layout. It adds a few more passing opportunities. It actually extends the circuit a bit, because we get to the part of the S's where it starts to get the flow going and then we jump out of it, and it's just a bit of a weird one. The West layout, I think you love it entirely just because of that cut through. You love that jump and the curb there, so I don't know, it's an interesting track to race on. It turns into a bit of a procession. It can become a bit like Oran Park, but we'll have to see as qualifying is just about finished.
Yeah,
I think we're actually
Sam,
on an Australian server as well, Jake, which is a rarity.
we actually raced, I think, in the Apex Racing League series back in the day. They had a round on the full circuit, and it's quite interesting because that back straight is really long and you get some serious top speed going down there. On the full layout, that is, but
yeah.
Obviously the shortened one is, I think personally, a little bit better. That straight's a little bit long in my opinion, but yep. As you said, Australian server tonight, so don't have any of the Euro guys in here, so hopefully we should see even more passing and a bit of bumping of doors with not too much netcode.
Yeah, the qualifying is actually just winding down, Jake, so I think everyone's done a lap or has finished a lap, so we might just run through the order. So Marcelo Rivera still on pole with 32 dead by 0.8 of a second from Luke Harvey. And then it's pretty close between him and Dean O'Brien in third, and then fourth, David Lord and Craig Jones rounding out the top 5. That second to fifth is very close. They're all in the 32.8s. There's Corey Preston on a 33 dead in sixth, and Zach Hanlon seventh. Todd Parks, Wayne Burke 8th and 9th, and rounding out your top 10 at the moment is Tyson Williams.
Yeah, I think if qualifying's representative of anything, what we're probably going to see is Marcelo Rivera just drive away, and then an awesome battle pack for second. That's what it really looks like.
Yeah, well, even sort of around that 6th through to 10th as well, it's pretty close. So I think a lot of guys close on time, as Marcelo Rivera's just cleared out at the front, so he's got something going on there. But it looks very close down the field, even 15th all the way back to 19th, are both all in the 33.6s. But qualifying's over, and we're getting ready to grid up now.
Yeah, it could be made a little bit tougher for Marcel. As we mentioned, this first corner, the run up to turn 1 here is quite tough because it's uphill, so that makes that start even more important, and then everyone tends to fan out. We're going to see probably 3, 4, maybe even 5 wide up into turn 1, so it's going to be a really interesting first lap. We'll probably see a little bit of carnage, but hopefully most of the guys get through cleanly for this 19-lapper.
Yeah, it's a bit of a weird start grid as well. It's actually not straight when you see all the cars lined up. The lines sort of go all squiggly, and it's a weird start grid. And yeah, I think pole position is on the left-hand side, which sort of isn't the preferred line. If you can be on the outside exiting 1, you've got the inside run to 2, and often you're just going to hold that line and have the high ground into the S section. But it's all about that launch, obviously, the staggered grids and such.
Yeah, it's going to be quite interesting. But yeah, as you say, no pit stop required in this race. I think that's the first time we've seen this in the official series for probably quite a long time, which I actually like these sort of, well, it's not really a long race, but these races where you don't have to pit too unnecessarily. I feel like in the official series the last season or so, we sort of had to pit when the tyres aren't even getting close to being burnt up. So hopefully tyre degradation will come in a little bit in this one, but about 30 seconds until we're going to be seeing the lights. Yeah,
just waiting on a few cars to grid up. Looking like we're just waiting on Tyson Williams and Martin Carroll at the moment in 10th and 11th. So yeah, Aussie server tonight, even with Mario Vlasic on board, should be able to see some good hard racing, get a bit closer than we have been for the last couple of seasons. No TTL or TTR cars as well tonight, so looking like at the moment it's going to be an ERA 1-2, but that can all change. Just waiting about 5 seconds till the lights come up as the revs begin to rise now.
Yeah, here we go. 19 laps at Circuit of the Americas. And we are green. They are away.
Oh, David
racing.
Lord looks like he's jumped the. Looks like David Lord jumped the start there.
Well, nonetheless, he's going to be into the lead in turn 1. It probably.
Oh, it was a massive shunt. Shunt in the background. That looked like it was Zachary Hamlin who got turned around. He had a poor start. Went to the. Oh, Wayne Burks caused that all. He's duked to the right to avoid Zach, and he's cleaned up Tyson Williams, then careered back into Hamlin, who's then spun in front of the field. Lucky only collecting 1 car.
Yeah, those who remember watching the iRacing World Championship Series a couple of years ago here, very similar shunt to that can happen here. And I'm actually looking now, once we look at the replay, Corey Preston copped a little bit of a knock from Dean O'Brien into the S's, and now he's under massive pressure from the 15 of Todd Parks, and Todd Parks is going to get that done.
Oh,
so,
Tyson's being beaten up at the moment as well. He's got another whack into that hairpin. 3 wide, that's not going to work with Wayne Burke on the middle. Tyson has absolutely been shafted so far.
James McKnight actually on the inside there was a bit of a benefactor of that. I don't think he did too much wrong, as we're now back live looking up towards the front end of the field. Most of them are fanned out now, but it's actually David Lord in the lead, but we did say that maybe he got a jump start.
Yeah, watch him to pit this lap, because he definitely moved very, very early.
Yeah, so David Lord, that's a black flag penalty, and Luke Harvey is going to resume the race lead over his teammate Marcelo Rivera, who we know has a big pace advantage, so look for him to try to be making a move on his teammate in the next couple laps.
Yeah, Dean O'Brien's kept with him as well at the moment, so it's ERA, SSR at the moment. As they all come up the hill.
Has Dean rejoined SSR, has he?
Yeah. Off
That's
season.
really cool.
Come on, Jake. Stop worrying about all you new TTR drivers and look outwards.
Dean O'Brien, obviously pretty much a veteran, I'd say. He would have been your teammates for a little bit back in the day, Sam, at Multi-21 and then Synergy.
Way back when at Multi-21 and Synergy Sim Racing was a teammate of mine, and then he jumped off to OPR when I left Synergy as well, and now he's come back. Seems to be a trend as well. Bo-Catel left and has returned as well. I haven't seen him around, but rumour is coming back. Tyson moves up the inside. James McKnight has turned him at the hairpin.
This is the problem with this track, Sam, is you can make big dives like that, and you gotta expect to make the apex and pull it off. Unfortunately, such tight radius corners, it's very easy to throw it in too deep and just smack someone in the door.
You know all about that, don't you, Jake?
Look, I'm speaking as someone who's experienced in the problem. Got to make sure
I'm
fellow
used to seeing that part of the track on my lid. those who don't understand, Jake has rolled me once at this circuit, sending it up. So that's where all this is coming from.
We just quickly take a look at Ryan O'Sullivan and Craig Jones. Craig Jones has run wide.
He's got Wayne Burks up the inside as well.
Gotta give it to Craig Jones. He's doing pretty well tonight, up in P7. It's a little bit further up the grid than what we
Burke was
normally see from
basically
him.
pushing O'Sullivan through the braking zone, and he's got that move done. He's having a look to the inside of O'Sullivan now into turn 2.
That's brave. There's not really much you can do with that. Unfortunately, this S's section you can do too wide, but you're going to lose literally seconds if you do it too wide. So it's really a one-line section of corners. And then this section here is my favourite, as you mentioned earlier, Sam. Little hop, skip and jump back onto the main section of the racetrack.
Now we're looking at it at the front. Luke Harvey's actually skipped away a little bit from his teammate. The gap was 8/10 last time across the one, but they've dropped in O'Brien and Corey Preston showing a nice bit of pace. And just having a look at these two very different lines through this section of the track, in that hairpin, Dean O'Brien running quite high and wide and sort of extending the corner and making it one big corner, whereas Corey's using it as two sort of separate corners, running very shallow.
Yeah, you can see that through this long section here. Just keeping it so much tighter.
It is going to hurt the tyres though, because it's you're just having to put more steering lock on and using a bit more of the throttle to steer the car, whereas Dean's probably just looking after it a little bit more, and that's probably where the gap's sort of forming between him and Rivera.
Yeah, so let's take a look at the lap times. We're looking at Wayne Burke and Craig Jones. These two battling again, but
Burke with a massive send on O'Sullivan.
he's rotated. Not quite. He has caught it.
He actually blinked there, Jake. So I think he lost a bit of grip. Thomas Hens is not happy on the radio. I think he's sick of some wild dive bombs from Dennis Kateric. And I'm having a look at them. They are a bit ridiculous. They're from 5 to 6 car lengths back, and he's just throwing it up there. So
that's all right. As long as you make the apex. Take a look at the replay into turn 1. Yeah, it was a bit of a dive. Yeah, he probably needed to slow that up a little bit more, actually.
There was a lot of cooperation there from Thomas to get that pass done. I'm looking at Tyson Williams and Martin Carroll battling over 9th and 10th.
Tyson struggling to get the front end of that thing rotated. He's having a late apex everywhere.
There's not much of a front end left on that car anyway. He's been beaten up already, and it's only lap 4.
Looking back, Dennis and Thomas, these two still sort of at it. I think Thomas has maybe lost a little bit of a rhythm to that whole ordeal.
I think Dennis believes he's got pace to clear Thomas, which is why he was throwing the car in so wildly, or the hill was just giving him some confidence to stop the car. Let's see what happens though coming up into turn 1 this time.
Could quickly take a look at our leaders. Marcelo Rivera, 10th and a half faster than his teammate last time by. Just seems to be able to keep that ERA Commodore so much tighter than his teammate.
Yeah, well, an 8/10 advantage in qualifying is quite a lot, regardless of if you took fuel out or not. Excuse me there, sorry. Just look, Jeff Rahali made a pass on Henry King, that's for 16th position. Trying to get past Michael Cracknell now, who got caught out on that start.
Marcelo just looks so much more comfortable with his car. It's consistent. I'm watching him lap to lap, and he's just the way he's driving his car seems consistent, whereas Harvey, just lines are a little bit all over the place. He looks like he's still trying to get that rhythm.
It's a bit like O'Brien and Preston at the moment, where they're running two very different lines. It's almost like Rivera's half a car width to a car width outside the wheel tracks of Harvey all the time, but we're going back to Wayne Burke with Ryan O'Sullivan in front of him, and his teammate Todd Parks in 5th. This is for 5th, 6th and 7th, this 3-car train.
That is one of the things, Sam, that you mentioned that I love about this racetrack. There is more than one way to go fast around here. I think it's,
especially in that last half of the lap, once you get outside of the S's, it's a very much a multi-lane racetrack, which is what can entice those guys, but the battle for the lead's on.
Yeah, Marcelo's probably going to have a bit of a run here. He'll probably look to the inside. No, not quite. Harvey actually going quite deep.
You might even just wait for Harvey to make the mistake, because he I think he just feels comfortable if he gets past Harvey to clear out, so he's going to wait for him to make the mistake. But O'Brien and Preston, bit of contact on the exit of turn 1. There's no room, but Preston is basically pushing it. Oh, he's had a look into the S's. That's a bit silly.
Definitely brave. These guys are really attacking the curves through this S-bend section much more than the guys up front. I think that's a little bit of a technique from the old car, Sam. The old car, talking FG01, pre-car of the future in iRacing, you could really attack those curves. Obviously these two both race that car, which compared to the guys up front, who I don't think ever race that car, maybe just a little bit different technique coming through. But we're looking back to Mario Vlasic, and
Hins is centered on Guterres. Looks like he's going to get this done, but not quite. This is an awkward spot. Got to sort it out before this next one, because it's running too wide here. It narrows up.
Here, though.
It does narrow up in here, but well, we're going 2x2, boys, as well.
Yeah, you can't really do anything on the outside there. The way the track sort of rotates.
Vlasic got to be careful. He's going to lose a spot to Cracknell here, and he's done that already. Where Harley's got some pace coming through this long carousel section. So Hins is back in front of Guterres now. Is Dennis going to have a massive dive at turn 1 again, like he had the last few laps ago?
We'll have to see. But we're seeing, we spoke about incidents, Sam. I think Wayne Burke, we've just been told, hasn't had a clean lap.
And it's lap 7, so he's using up the incident points pretty quick. Only got 17 of them, of course, before you disqualify yourself. And I just watching his line as well, and I can see why he hasn't got an official lap, because he's using a lot of the apron through the S's.
You gotta be careful there. You take too much, you can not only get an off track, you get a slowdown. So.
Or I'm just looking at Dean O'Brien and Corey Preston, and it looks like Dean's worn out those rear tyres. He's sliding into every braking zone. Corey doesn't need to rush this. He just doesn't need to race this pass or make a mistake. Everyone knows Corey can be a bit hot under the collar and is mistake prone, as he's just made one.
No, that is a line he's been taking most of this race. You take that late apex there, you can get a run up towards here. I don't know, he's keeping it very tight through this triple apex right-hander though, so a little bit unusual here from Corey. I think now might be a good time to actually look at our two leaders. Marcelo's quite close, probably the closest he's been for a couple of laps, but he does have a moment off the last corner and actually loses that advantage.
Wayne Burke not quite got the run on O'Sullivan either. Tyson Williams in the background's going side by side with Martin Carroll. Michael Cracknell we're hearing as well. He's got in front of Dennis Guterres, so he's moving his way back through the field after essentially going to last because he got turned around on the start line.
There's a big hole in the front of Mario Vlasic car as well, but we look up to O'Brien and Preston. Preston seems to be getting really good runs out of the high-speed corners, but unfortunately a lot of the corners that lead onto passing zones at this track aren't high speed.
Yeah, it looks like Dean's just got better low-speed traction compared to Preston. Preston looks very strong through the S's, which is what's letting him get close through this part of the track we're in now, and then he falls away. Williams looking to the inside of Martin Carroll as well. Not quite far enough up though. That's the thing with COTA as well, if you're going to have a dive, you've got to get up there and essentially give them nowhere to fight back, because if you just sort of get your nose half there, the driver on the outside, and you'll lose most of the time.
Yeah, Corey...
So through this right-hander as well, he's very good.
I think Corey might be getting a little bit impatient here. We'll probably see him make a lunge at a bit of an unusual spot. We've seen Dan O'Brien a little bit wide. He could look into the last corner, but yep, smart. Corey plays it smart and tries to get a run onto the straight nice and close.
He almost balked himself there though. He came in too hard and had to check up mid-corner.
I think he's close enough now. He could have a go if he wanted, but he's going to have to point it straight at the apex.
He's done... Oh, but Dean's done the same sort of thing. So Corey's pulled out of it. He's actually made Dean go deep himself. Can he hold around the outside?
Problem is, I think Dean maybe is slowing Corey up a fair bit, because the guys behind have slowly been catching. The last couple laps they've matched, but
I think so Todd Parks is the sort of the slower of the five. You got Ryan O'Sullivan did a 33.4, Preston did a 33.4, Burke did a 33.3, whereas O'Brien and Parks both did 33.6s.
Corey is so close now. He's basically riding the bumper.
He almost needs to, through that long right-hander, poke his nose out and to have a dive into the second to last corner.
To the left, he needs to go here, and he's trying. Oh.
Crisscross, not going to happen. As we're seeing behind as
he's
well,
got the
Todd
power down
Parks.
nicely though.
O'Burke went to the inside of O'Sullivan, now he's got to try and hold the outside through the right-hander. So Preston, where he is now, he needs to have a dive here. Have a dive at this corner.
It's too high speed. You need to have an overlap prior to the braking zone, I think, to get it done there. But he's going to have a good run into the last corner. I'd almost get the off track and try and get a really wide entry to this one. He's got a good enough run though. He's going to have to commit. That's the thing with COTA. The thing with COTA turn 1 is it's uphill, so you can brake super deep. Here comes Preston to the outside.
Yeah, O'Brien moved his car over in the break. Oh, as Preston is... Oh, he's held onto that.
Somehow.
O'Sullivan gets past Parks as well.
Yeah, but Parks is going to come back on the outside. If he can hold it, he's going to have the run into the S's, but he's not. Maybe. There could be an overlap here. This could be awkward.
Oh! He's held onto it. It's actually going to slow them all up though.
Yeah. That was brave. But well driven by these guys to keep out of the fence there. So it's going to allow Wayne Burke to actually have a bit of a run on Todd Parks. He could have a look into the left-hander.
Oh, I was looking up front, sorry. Rivera and Harvey have just made contact, and Harvey just had a half spin.
Yeah, we'll get a replay of that. That's a little bit awkward between teammates. What happened there is Marcelo actually pitched it in, pinched the rear tyres, and rear end of his car's just tipped Luke Harvey's rear, and that's actually rotated him. So, going to be a little bit awkward in team speak for a little while for those boys. But
yeah,
Marcelo
Rivera had
in
the
the
move
lead.
pretty much complete though.
I think Harvey gave him enough room. It looked like Marcelo's rear end.
Just when he got on the power, it just sort of stepped out, yeah.
Now also seeing O'Brien, after that little turn 1 debacle, has managed to pull about 9/10 of a second over Corey Preston, and then behind...
been able to pass his teammate Todd Parks as well, so Sullivan and Burke have both jumped Parks now, so they're 5th and 6th.
And actually just realised that we only got about 9 laps to go now, so...
Yep.
Closing stages of this race, we're going to look way back in the field, 22nd and 23rd. Phil Jones trying to hold off Stephen Varga.
Yeah, these guys, the last cars running, we've got Zach Cullen and Daryl Hockey both out of the race, so of the 25 cars, 23 are remaining.
Varga looks to the inside.
Yeah, to the inside. He didn't quite go deep enough. I think he's just locked the rears a bit. Looks like Jones has let him have it though. Jones has just motocrossed it across the curb as well.
Pretty textbook between those two, and we're hearing that Luke Harvey has resumed the lead, so I'm going to assume that was probably a readdress from his teammate there.
I'm just going to see what's happened.
Yep, he's straight up moved over and slowed down on the back straight and let Harvey go. So good sportsmanship between teammates there. I think Marcelo knew he was in the wrong. He's not just redressed though, but he's actually given quite a bit of time to Luke Harvey.
I'm thinking it might have been a slowdown.
Oh, actually, yeah, you're right. It could have been
through the S section. I had to look back, and he did take a lot of curb. So it wasn't through the cut-through section. It was through the S's actually itself. There's O'Sullivan looking at battle for 5th place. This is still raging on between Ryan O'Sullivan and Wayne Burke. Burke's been the centre of most of the action tonight.
Oh, late dive.
Oh, is he going to... Oh, there was almost contact there. Well spotted by Ryan O'Sullivan.
The braking zone is so long, and we could have a little bit of an awkward incident. O'Sullivan in a similar situation.
O'Sullivan's learnt from last time and ran him out of road.
Berkey right up on these curbs with this S's section. Love the attitude of the cars.
So he's got to get a run through this cut through and potentially have a dive into the left-hander.
Brilliant line. Berkey's taken the perfect line to get the run there, and he's going to have almost an overlap. He's going to be down the inside. O'Sullivan gives him heaps of room. Oh,
Job done. You got lucky though.
shuts the door.
Something that has surprised me as well, Jake, is Corey hasn't caught back up to Dean O'Brien as fast as I expected with the pace we thought he had over O'Brien. However, last lap for
3 tenths
Preston,
last
33.2,
time,
yeah. So I kind of expect him to be up there within the next lap, but he's taken a couple of laps to crawl his way back there.
Alright, and this will be the first full lap that Marcelo Rivera's done since whether it was a redress or slow down.
He
we're
did a
not sure, but
36.3 last lap, and everyone else
so
is doing 33s.
let's see what lap time it does. I mean, I assume it's a fair bit quicker than Luke Harvey. Yeah, about 3 tenths faster. I think it would have been about half a second.
The
but he
same
made
again
it.
for O'Brien. Preston 3 tenths faster than O'Brien.
Exactly.
So Corey looks to be taking that high line into turn 1 compared to Dean O'Brien.
I do like that. That's the way I drive here, and I think it's probably one of the quicker ways around here. But we're looking back to Todd Parks and Craig Jones. I don't.
It's coming into the S section. Craig Jones has actually done a nice job to claw his way back through the field as well. He started down in... Oh, he actually started in 5th, sorry. I thought he started a bit further back. So he's gone from 5th to 8th thanks to the start line dramas. A big move is Ryan O'Sullivan, though, from 14th to 6th.
Yeah, I think did we lose David Lord at some point? He's still circulating.
No,
but
he's back there in
21st.
Yeah. Well, he
Yeah,
had
but-
he had the penalty.
That's right. Yep, my bad. So yeah, that's really hurt David Lord actually. That penalty. It's only 34 seconds behind the lead, but it's a long way. When I think
Tyson
we look at
Williams so
Preston-
as well, having a dig at Martin Carroll still, but Preston is right on the tail of O'Brien. So if I was Preston, I know I've got the pace through these high speed corners, so I
last
winded it.
corner.
No, you wind it up through that long right hander and have a go at the
Here we
second.
go.
He's actually he's probably overcooked that.
Ah, that's perfect.
Crisscross.
It's gonna be a crisscross, but
Nah, he
nailed
overcooked it.
Drive him to the wall. Probably what we're going to see here. Corey Preston about in the middle of the track, not being too harsh. Oh!
Nah, that was unnecessary. Corey's just kept coming across, and Dean's driven a straight line.
And Dean feeds it back, so
Yeah, that's fair play there from Dean, I think. Preston
Not-
was...
not too much to be said from that. Dean retains position, but
Cracknell's just past James McKnight for 11th place as well.
yeah, I was just going to comment on Crackers. Knight almost has another look. I think these guys are still teammates.
No, Cracknell's at ERA, and James McKnight's still at SDC.
Yeah, my apologies. Forgot Crackers went to ERA, but yeah, ex-teammate, should we say?
So hearing O'Brien's having some connection issues. His ping's going to around 150, 160. So as long as that quality stays green, we're fine.
Looking at our race leaders, Marcelo probably the closest he's been since he lost position to Luke Harvey about 3 laps ago. Going to be last corner, it's going to be on a little bit of a tap at the apex of the penultimate. And Marcelo to the inside.
Down the inside, Harvey gives him plenty of space.
Yeah, I think Harvey knows.
Oh,
Marcelo's
Preston's
got the
dive!
pace.
Oh, we need to have a look at Preston. He dove it in very deep and almost turned Dean O'Brien. I think Dean had to turn out there just to avoid an incident. That's a bit reckless and probably a bit stupid from Corey.
I think, to be honest, I think Dean maybe was a little bit off the apex and Corey tried to capitalise a little bit and yeah, just tiny bit of contact.
Now
Fortunately,
he's
nothing came of
vulnerable
it.
to Wayne Burke though.
Yeah, we know Corey's got pace over all these guys though. I think
He's just driven straight over a sleeping policeman curb. He's probably gonna cop a slowdown for that.
I think Corey probably has the pace to be running with the front two, just hasn't been able to get
Qualified
around Dean
poorly.
O'Brien.
He was 6th and he's just stuck at the moment. He's just got to get creative. He's tried the last corner, drove it in deep, didn't work. Tried turn 1, didn't work.
Oh!
Dean
Mistake from
O'Brien's
O'Brien.
gone deep and he's going to let probably 3 cars go here.
It was really weird. That was a lot like what happened to Marcelo earlier. Maybe a slowdown as well. But yeah, that's the break Corey Preston needs. He's up to P3, but he's got Wayne Burke for company.
as Corey's just slightly off the apex at the left hander there. Gives Burke a little sniff, but I think Corey through this right hand is going to drive away. Looks like that James Falcon's a bit better through the high speed stuff compared to the Synergy cars.
Yeah, that's it. And yeah, I don't know. Corey seeming we having a bit of a broken rhythm.
Ooh. Jeff Rahali, we're hearing, is facing the wrong way in the infield section. He's out of 17th spot and he's escaped.
And Marcelo Rivera has finally got the break he needed, and last time by extended his lead by 7/10. So
expect him to clear out. We have got 4 laps to go.
Yeah, this race has gone by quick.
Yeah, it's a relatively quick lap here at COTA, and I think the battle at the moment is going to be from third on back with Preston, Burke, O'Brien and O'Sullivan. I think Burke's just got the aggression to stay. He might not have the car underneath him, but he's just got that want to get past Preston. He's using all the road, and I wouldn't surprise me if he got a slow down just there. He had all 4 wheels. He's probably very close to his incident. No, he's got one. He will put the whole car across that curb.
Yeah, this track's definitely one of those risk versus reward tracks, and they've bitten a few people tonight.
That's the break Corey wants now, so he'll probably disappear.
O'Sullivan's looking very racy on the back of Dean O'Brien.
Yeah, O'Sullivan was sort of the same pace as Burke, and Burke was slightly quicker than his teammates, so it wouldn't surprise me if O'Brien sort of falls back through now. He's pushing him.
That is not a corner you want to unsettle the back of someone.
Dean just looks like he's struggling in the high-speed stuff, especially that right-hander. Because we saw Wayne was able to stay with Corey through it, but Dean has got nothing through there at the moment.
Yeah, he's just got a lot of high-speed understeer. Not sure what he's doing.
Sullivan right outside off the exit of the last corner is going to give Wayne Burke a run.
It's going to have to be a lunge.
I don't think Burke is quite close enough. 3 laps to go.
Oh, Sullivan actually covers
Burke. Oh.
He's probably lucky O'Sullivan went to the inside there, because Berkey would have had to have made a lunge if he stayed on the outside.
I think Burke was premeditating the lunge, and when he saw O'Sullivan go left, he's like, well, I've already committed to going deep, so he's just sort of driven to the outside.
O'Sullivan looking much better through this S's section than Dean O'Brien. Gets it rotated beautifully up onto the back straight. This is an awesome run. He might be able to have a look. Goes to the inside, gets an overlap.
Got enough of the car there, but Dean's got the inside now. This is what you got to and this is the don't roll someone here.
This is this is actually very.
It's identical to when you're on me.
Deja vu, like the whole situation as well. Goes for another look. This has actually brought Todd Parks and Craig Jones right back on into this. It's good racing, as we said. COTA generally turns it on, but it's only going to be 2 laps to go next time by for these guys. So if they want to do something, they want to do it now. The leaders are out to a bit over a 1 second lead, so it's pretty much Marcelo's race if he keeps it on the black stuff. But Berkey nice and sideways, and then gets close to O'Sullivan. Power down now.
As much as I knock COTA, it does produce relatively good racing just due to its nature. However, it's just very boring if you're by yourself.
Yeah, well, it's a track so dependent on braking and acceleration, which are the two things.
Sullivan's gone very deep, and he's almost joined Dean O'Brien in the back seat. I thought he was going to be a passenger there.
Berkey. This is a bit of a weird battle pack, because these guys are a bit all over the place. Like, you'd think, oh, you know, O'Sullivan has the upper hand, he's got the pace, but then Berkey has it, but then they sort of fall off.
I think it's just the tyre phasing, and everyone's going through it at different rates, and we are starting to see a bit of tyre wear now, cars sliding where they weren't sliding earlier on.
I think Dean's probably got the brake he needs now. He's got that sort of 2 car lengths.
Probably the one who could get to O'Brien at the moment, and he's being held up a little bit.
He's got no time. If O'Sullivan makes it anything other than completely easy for him, they're just going to lose too much time. That's the one thing about COTA, is when you do have a passing altercation, generally you lose a whole heap of time. Because now our race leader, Marcelo Rivera, has actually come into the last corner to begin the final lap of this race.
These three guys, O'Brien, O'Sullivan and Burke, are driving these cars on the edge at the moment. They're dancing them through all the braking zones.
Yeah, it's one to go, so I'm gonna
Oh,
call
Burke's got
it
the
now.
run. Burke's got the
He's
run.
gonna have a big lunge into one. He's gonna have to. If he wants to make anything of this.
Just straight line at the apex, climb the curb.
Oh,
Sullivan
Sullivan's
colours.
done the same once again. Berkey a bit smart. He's smartened himself up this time. He's seen through it. Now gonna maybe have a look into two, but keeps it nice and tight. His next chance is gonna be at the end of the back straight into the tight left.
Yeah, he's just got to focus on the run through the S's here.
He's nailed it so far.
Burke's looked stronger through the cut-through section as well. O'Sullivan a little bit wide in the entry part.
Perfect from Burke. That was absolutely faultless. Quite close
O'Sullivan
enough.
covers. There goes Burke.
Oh, he's
Get it stopped.
caught it well. O'Sullivan jumped out in the braking zone and that caught him way off guard, but well done. You can
Too
easy crisscross
wide.
here.
Oh, he's going to try and hold the outside if he can do it. He's got the high ground.
How good are Australian
Good.
servers?
Yeah.
We
I
haven't
don't
seen
usually
this
get,
all season
I
and he's
don't
done
usually
it.
get involved in that debate, but how good is it to be on an Australian server for once?
I think we'll go to our race leader, Marcelo Rivera. Couple mistakes this race, but just ultimately speed show through. Coming to the last corner, it's going to be an ERA 1-2. He actually gets really sideways coming to the last corner, showing off a bit, takes the win for ERA.
And his teammate Luke Harvey crosses in the line second. Corey Preston with a well-deserved podium.
And O'Brien's going to come off on top for this battle for fourth. And pretty much everyone from that little pack back is relatively spread out. I think our last car still running on the
Oh,
lead lap is Phil
Just watching
Jones.
Tyson come flying down the front straight. Yeah, last car across the line will be Phil Jones, and he's sort of just exiting the infield section, coming through the long right-hander now.
Yeah, 25 car field tonight. Fortunately, we only saw 4 victims of accidents. There were plenty of biffing and barging out there, but that's another thing about the Australian servers. When there are accidents, generally the damage isn't as exaggerated. But Phil Jones is now entering the last corner.
He's actually crossed the line, Jake. You're on a replay.
Oh, yep, that's happened. I was watching Tyson. But, yep, that is our 19 laps here at Circuit of the Americas. Why don't we run through the race results, Sam?
Yeah, so P1, Marcelo Rivera from his teammate Luke Harvey in second, Corey Preston rounding out your podium with Dean O'Brien, and then Wayne Burke fourth and fifth. Sixth goes to Ryan O'Sullivan in seventh, Todd Parks, Craig Jones in P8, with Martin Carroll holding up Tyson Williams in the end for ninth and Tyson in 10th.
Over the page, Michael Cracknell. He's had a bit of a shocking season so far. He's been out of the seats. Car number 1 is going to sit 11th with James McKnight in 12th. Thomas Hines 13th. Mario Vlasic 14th. Henry King is going to be 15th. Dennis Katerick 16th. David Lord with a sort of decent recovery after that first lap penalty in 17th. Brendan Jackson 18th. Jason Quire 19th. And Sean Chappell rounding out the 20.
We've got Stephen Varga and Phil Jones 21, 22nd, and then the did not finish is Jeff Harley, Zach Hallen and Daryl Hockey 23rd, 24th, 25th. And Jake, I think we'll wrap it up from tonight's racing, but if you want to catch us again, you won't be hearing our voice on Thursday night, but we've got the trucks from Martinsville on Thursday, and then on Sunday we're back for Scops at Imola.
Yeah, Imola's going to be a really exciting round. I know we're all looking forward to it. Yep, Sunday afternoon, you'll catch us live on V8's Online, but let's wrap this one up, Sam.
Yeah, so from myself, Sam Sutton, Jay Kennedy in the director's booth, and Jake Burton alongside me, it's great to have your company tonight for round 2 of the iRacing V Supercars official series. We'll be back next week. From where? From Suzuka, I'm hearing. So back at Suzuka next week, another track I don't like, Jake loves, but we'll see you there anyway. So from us at V8's Online, thank you for watching, and we'll see you next week.